Hello and welcome to the Kobold Cafe where we're playing the Frozen Gods in GURPS 4th edition. I'm Luke the GM. We've got the usuals: Emily, Kyle, Tara, Lee, Colin, and probably CD at some point. You guys are on a boat on the way
I'm on a
to...
boat.
You're on the boat. On your way to Keem in general. Um, Chasing down something to defeat a threat in your homeland. You've got a map of sorts. It's very fancy. You are due to arrive in the next day or so at present time at a bit of a midway island where there are both crusaders, key merchants from, I forgot the name, Yei, which is a country to the far south, which is where Micah's heritage is from originally. But yeah, let's just generally have a look at some more time on the boat. So you've got a selection of cabins to choose from down here. Katya's is the one at the back, I'm almost certain.
That checks out.
Seeing as she's paying for everything, just about. There are 6 very tiny, but still much better than anyone else as the boat has got cabins here. And then another 2 ever so slightly larger ones, but I imagine Aaron is in one of those. He's got the north one. And
Makes sense.
I may well give was a face, was a name. Samira.
Seeing as it's their ship, makes sense.
But Pian's got a little cabin. Archie, which is your cabin?
There are a couple of nobles to fight over cabins with as well.
I feel like Willem
How are they armed?
And Carl may well be bedding with the soldiers. There are a good 30 soldiers in your party, and I think they're somewhat taking it on themselves to command those guys.
It does make sense. There probably is kind of an open question of, once we get there, who's going to be in charge of which groups.
For certains.
I sleep in front of the door.
Luke, in answer to your question, I think Archie probably actually sleeps down with the horses.
Oh, really?
That's not very defendable.
Well, but anybody sneaking up would be stirring up the horses.
This is also very true.
Well, I hope you enjoy horse and urine and poop.
Yeah, there's a lot of it down there.
Yeah.
It also never settles. I think 24 hours a day the horses are in a constant state of rotation.
So the soldiers aren't all knights. Like, about a third of them are knights, a third of them are just gotchas, like diggers and miners, and a third of them are like rangers and scouts. So I could imagine Archie might be on friendly terms with some of those. The last category.
Yeah, but honestly, I think Archie's probably in that cabin.
Luke, I sleep right the fuck there.
Radio.
In front of Katya's door.
Okay.
What are the logistics of that? Do you just curl up at the door like a dog, or
no,
do you
like
lean
I
against the door and
lean against the door?
You've been doing this long enough, I imagine we've gotten you like a bedroll and a pillow you can lean against and stuff.
She's fine. She's used to sleeping
you've made one of those folding sit on the ground camping chairs?
Kinda. Probably.
There's also just general sacks and barrels of goods lining the hallways everywhere. I recall walking through, what's his face? That dickhead who asked Hardy to kiss him. I should know this as a person.
Ships generally don't have much open space, though. You're
But
absolutely right.
Like walking through these things as a child, you're just like, what the fuck? Huh? It's tiny. There's no room. I have the claustrophobias. And then you think about there being
One of those fancy royal ships with the walking tours.
Nelson. What his name? What his name? Nelson.
Horatio Nelson.
Was his name Horatio? He died on deck.
Master and Commander?
His last words were like Kismet Hardy.
Anyway,
His boat. It's in Plymouth in town centre. He used to be able to walk right through it. I stood on spot when he got
Yes.
shot.
That was Lord Nelson.
Yeah. Pretty cool boat. Wouldn't want to be on it with 300 other people.
No.
It was bad enough with like 200 tourists. Anyways, yeah, these boats tiny, very cramped. Generally constantly on top of each other. There would be a guard that like kinda intends to keep watch at Catcher's door, but then when he sees all you lot in here most of the time, I think he generally gives up on that.
there's a staring match between Etho and him for like maybe 30 minutes.
But people settle all over the boat. I think they generally give this area a bit more privacy than the rest of it, though. Just because you're fancy people and they don't want to bother you too much. And I think
Fancy
Aaron
people, huh?
likes to be left alone. Well, except for you. You're the outlier.
Katya spends time in this area, yes, but she also spends time in the rest of the ship. She is a people person, so like we're gonna be here for like a month. Might as well be friendly.
So I think you probably get used to the smell of horse and people shit in 24 hours. Maybe not the motion of the boat that quick. Everyone roll
Yes.
free fall or HT. It's not that kind of boat.
I can I just fail? I know I'm gonna fail anyway
Bail.
with my disadvantages.
Oh, you mean vomit everywhere?
So do you spend your time in front of the door or next to a window?
I think she said fail.
Fail, not bail. Okay.
Fail. Yeah. Like here's just a straight up HG roll.
I weren't really looking for HT rolls, I'm sorry.
Well, I actually need to.
Yeah, you likely
There we
do.
go.
Success by
I
3,
probably-
so
Maybe.
you're just extremely nauseous. Oof, Micah. Big oof. How are you taking to the boat, madam? Aaron addresses you, Micah, one morning.
It's all right. I've not been on some quite this large before.
It's not usually this busy with men, and certainly not with this many horses. I can scarce believe they all fit, though it's hard to rest with them. Screaming all night, and walking about the deck at all hours.
The smell.
Quite. In fact, he'd offer you a heavily perfumed handkerchief that he's got a few of stuffed into his pockets. Generally walks around clutching one to his face.
Micah drops to the floor. Religious are you, Aaron?
Not particularly. I know the book. Most of the words still. But I don't pray anymore.
My father was quite similar. He taught me, but emphasized other things.
The temple at forgot the name again. Jekabec it's quite magnificent, really. We should visit it, even if we don't intend to pray. Although
Certainly.
it may be difficult getting Lady Katya in there, and almost impossible getting that Mr. Smith and the other Mr. Smith.
Yes, perhaps only those interested could go. That
Like-
would probably go better.
Likely a good idea. Has she been sleeping in front of that door every night?
Yes.
Miss? There's a perfectly good cabin right there.
I know.
Well, awaken your crewmates. We should eat breakfast together. All of us. All the men eat their meals together. It's a jolly affair.
Izo puts her fingers in her mouth and does that really loud whistle.
Indistinct bumbling from behind the door.
His servant guy's got a name now. His head servant is called Nash, and he is a really tall, slim Arabic fella. Arabic Kimtani fella. Who's very quiet as well, generally. Vibes of the butler in Mr. Deeds is what I want to say. Who is played by that guy.
Did I hear something about breakfast?
John Turturro.
John Turturro, yeah. Except, Arabic. Correct, Lady Katya. If you're there. Nash caught quite the specimen. He's preparing it now.
Fish?
Indeed.
Works I was hoping we could do some of that while we were out here.
You've never seen anything quite like this, I guarantee it.
We will gather for breakfast. Sounds great.
Will your fellows be joining us?
She looks to the others.
I think it's Archie and Pian that are still hiding.
Yeah, I think Peon isn't seen outside of his cabin very often.
Last
Archie
chance. Go ahead.
Archie pokes his head out.
Okay.
Breakfast for fish for breakfast? Interested?
Yeah, I'm hungry. I could eat fish. Haven't had fish in a long while.
It will be ceviche, because why not? And the fish is out, laid out. It's this big, massive thing. You probably have seen one before, Katya, at some royal feast or something.
Still impressive, though.
But yeah, and Nash caught it with a huge fishing pole and line that's been trailing alongside the boat for the past couple of days. It's almost got like a trunk, is what it looks like. There's pictures of animals from the far south in Yei that are elephants, and this thing's got like a very short elephant trunk, but it's really long, like a good 8 feet long. This fish that he's caught.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he's just carved out a huge portion, cut very thin wafer slices, dressed it in citruses and various spices, and has served it up on a bunch of little golden plates.
I'll skip this
Good
one,
call about
thank
this
you.
potentially being a dining room.
I think this is above deck still. Technically, this map is quite confusing to me, but it is free, so you can't really complain. This map actually comes with Roll20.
Very cool.
I think just free. I don't think it's even a subscription one.
But if the weather's nice, we could be eating on the deck anyways.
Mhm.
Yes, that is above deck. I see what you're saying, and I agree.
But yeah, like this is one of the few places where the real scuzzers don't go. Only the sailors, the captain, and you lot are allowed up here. And it
Nope.
looks
Nope.
down over all the deck.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Are you? Ooh.
But indeed, it is a nice day. Aaron will tell you how you should have actually arrived at the island. I forgot. I gave it a name for. I gave it 3 names in 3 languages. But let's just call it Midway, because that's pretty much what most normie idiots, Westerners, Northwesterners call it. And yes, I would have expected to arrive there 2 or 3 days ago. But the winds have not been as favourable as I'd hoped. Of course, any other boat, we'd still be a week out.
I'm still impressed.
As you should be, Lady Katja. And yeah, he'll boast about his boat a bunch.
Weirdly, she's more impressed by the fishing. Well, as impressed by the fishing as the ship.
You really should be impressed by the fishing. Everyone's kind of amazed. While you're all eating up here, Nash is currently serving out huge plates of it to the others, and there's like a couple of other cooks frying it up and what have you. Smell it.
Yeah, I have to say that's this is one of the things I'm looking forward to in this trip. Trying all the local foods.
Mm. Some of them are so hot they'll burn the tongue out of your mouth, and others have such a divine sweetness that they make the gods themselves weep. Or so it is written.
Let's see if it lives up to the writing. How about you guys? What are you looking forward to?
Finally seeing Kim. I know so much about it, but I've never been.
Keem is a wonderful place. For starters, it's warm. Oh, oh, how I miss the warm.
Yes, my father complained about the dry, cold air up north.
There is some very dry, hot air in Keem, and even some cold air also. There are deserts where men will freeze to death overnight if not properly sheltered.
It's true. But the street markets are incredible. The food, oh my god, the food. We had a small sample from what was that guy's name?
Nash.
Nash.
Well,
From
the main guy that you stood up here with is Aaron, but his servant and the cook
And
is
Nash made it.
Yeah, Nash made it.
yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, that was but a small sample of the cuisine. Their artwork is just amazing. Um, it's it's a beautiful place.
He smiles. He looks kind of impressed. In fact, yeah. He's just like, You're quite cultured, aren't you, Mr. Smith? I'm impressed.
I wouldn't say I'm cultured. I just
You have a great appreciation for the great cultures.
I mean, not everybody's the same.
He's definitely well traveled.
I'll take that one. He offers up hot cups of a very floral and really oily tea. That he puts like 2 huge spoons of honey in his own one.
Absolutely.
That tea is kind of amazing. Not like anything you've tasted before, you don't think?
So I've been thinking that once we get there, it might be good to spend a little time acclimating to the area before we start journeying out. Give the men some time to train up, and I don't know, give ourselves some time to explore.
I know after a journey like this, the horses need a couple of days to regain their strength.
Exactly.
Certainly. Well, I have a compound in Kimtani. I think we can about make room. We may have to commandeer a stable across the street, but I think we can fit everything.
That would be very appreciated. Thank you.
Unless, of course, you'd rather. No. Based on these charts, yeah, we're gonna suggest stopping at immediately at your husband's, but it's fairly inland. It'd be like a couple of days' journey, and you wouldn't want to put the horses straight on that. So yeah, Makid is probably your best bet. I've not got an
Okay.
updated map of Keem yet, but it will be getting somewhat updated at some point. I don't really plan on arriving there today though, so we don't need to worry about
Fair. We have a whole island to explore. Kacho is just making small talk.
Was where is it? What was Samira's deal?
Samira, she works for Aaron, but she's generally quite fancy in her own right, you think? She honestly doesn't talk much. She has been a little bit ill. That's something I needed to do. Oh wow. Good
Okay.
roll, Tara.
That was for the smell of the how that fish affected me.
Oh, okay, very nice. Yeah, that fucked you up real good. Did you do that roll when you ran to the back?
Yep.
Yeah, I had the chat window invisible to myself. Yeah, sorry, I've not got anything off the cuff for Samira right now.
I think Archie actually makes up a plate and goes and pounds on Peon's door.
And Pian will open it. You know, he's not wearing his mask for the first time, and you can see that he looks pretty pale. You could probably guess that the sea travel isn't agreeing with him very much.
It's dark in there. He's got his porthole sealed shut, and a
Hey,
big piece
hey,
of cloth up covering some gaps.
hey, Luke, I got a question.
Yeah.
Does Peon share any distinctive correlating
Have you got
features as something that it's possible that Archie has, encountered
not
in the last
necessarily?
game?
Have you got anything
Okay.
like occult or
Nah,
hidden lore? Vampires?
not really. Well, I wasn't trying to say the word, but I was trying to hint that, we had that whole fight with that one.
Give me an IQ check. This is at pretty much like a -6.
You have the
Ian gets to
experience.
live
You're
another
allowed to
day.
default,
No, he looks
Yeah.
he looks real ill.
or maybe not.
Okay.
You decide to put him on trial for something else entirely.
He's a witch.
No, I think in that case, Archie is like, well, I brought you food, but you don't look like the sea's agreeing with you.
I very much appreciate the gesture, but I do not feel up to eating. And he looks at the mostly raw fish sitting there. He's like, that.
It's not raw. The acid from the citrus cooks it.
Shut up.
No, that's absolutely fair. You just, let me know if you need anything.
I appreciate it. I really appreciate the gesture.
All right, well, sleep tight.
As they're doing that, Micah will ask Katya, so after all our current business is dealt with, what do you ultimately plan on doing after you get married?
What do you mean? Like where do I plan on living?
And what do you intend on doing?
I mean that's kind of a big question. I suspect that we're going to be dealing with whatever's going on in the north for quite a while.
Fair enough.
But I mean, at some point, family. Kind of hoping I have a few more years of running around adventuring, though. I
Of
mean,
course.
this map we have alone could provide years of places to go, and I don't want to use the word plunder, but explore.
The more I look at it, the more some of these words leap out at me. Not just the old cities, but other places that I'm not sure correlate with anywhere anymore.
But surely the ruins are still there, if the city itself isn't anymore.
Mayhaps I'm not wholly familiar with the location of all the old ruins, but I'm
If any,
certain there'll be navigators with maps of those in, I forgot the name again. Quebec. It's Quebec, preceded by Quebec.
Get back.
Protect your neck.
if
Bunch of weird
anything,
Central Europeans there.
if any of these artifacts are buried underneath a city that's active, that might be even harder.
You mention artifacts. So do you expect to find great magical items here? I can guarantee there is magic in these cities. But it is highly protected.
Yes, I expect to find magic. It's not what we're looking for specifically, but there's usually a lot of that kind of stuff near these things.
We shall see. I fear much of it would have been plundered already. But maybe with this map we have, he's looking at a rubbing of it. One of the better duplications on paper, spread out on a table you've got out up here. I do notice that you've brought quite a lot of excavation gear with you. That can't be ignored, and indeed, much of the hold is dedicated to picks and shovels and some wheelbarrows and lots of rope. Although I'm sure boats are covered in rope anyway.
Katja smiles kind of guiltily. Well, I found that when it comes to exploring Tove ruins, sometimes you need to make your own doors. But also, just sometimes the passages need to be reinforced so they don't collapse.
It actually is relevant there, yeah. I thought that. I was like, oh shit. No points in intersectionality, unfortunately.
I mean, we're going to be respectful, of course, but
I have
Certainly more so than
the Crusaders. Oh, I've no
Ah.
doubt. Yes, you should see, although I have not myself seen Buhaira, though I may yet on this journey. I have heard tales of its horror. Certainly St. Fabian, or he'll call it another name straight after its old name, before it got sacked 20 years ago by Crusaders. And all the
yeah.
Keemtani men expelled.
Yeah.
Micah will interject in Kimtani some sort of like down with the Crusaders or screw those guys sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. He'll give a
Yeah,
reply that's like an acceptable reply to that one. One that's like, yes, comrade.
She has it broken, so she might
Oh.
just nod along and assume.
if it's all the same, I honestly prefer not to be any more associated with the Crusaders than we have to be.
Certainly. No, go on.
It seems like they're not necessarily welcome in all places.
Indeed. We'll have a much better time be staying as far away from them as possible in all but Buhaira.
I mean, we may come from the same place, but I'd like to think that we're a little bit less crazy.
Many of them share no allegiance to your king. Most of elected members of their own rank and file to status of king amongst themselves.
I roll.
In fact, the one who rules over your fiancée, Queen Julia? Queen Julia? I think it's Queen Julia. She is one to be feared, most certainly. But, of course, she is also very wealthy, as is your husband. A much
I have
wealthier man than I.
Also, a note that Queen Julia is Katya's second cousin.
Oh shit, right, yeah, so.
Or no, third once removed. Something.
I have nothing against Queen Julia. I mean, I've got a lot of respect for her. I should stop talking.
He looks like he should also stop talking. He's like, oh shit, what have I said? Micah's like, please no. By the way, Katya and Aaron. And they're both like, oh shit, yeah. Oh, I think, have we got a CD popping in?
We might.
Sorta. I'm here, but oh boy.
Feeling crappy.
Yeah, I was lifting furniture yesterday, and my intestines tore again, so I've been internally bleeding for a while.
Oh,
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it happens if I lift anything over 30 pounds. So
Wow.
I took some more iron. I'm getting a lot more liquid into me, but I nearly died on the way home. Let's do this though. What's going on?
So you're on the boat. You're eating breakfast, pretty much. It is ceviche, very deliciously prepared fish. You're chatting about the journey ahead and just general thoughts. Pian is staying below deck because he's a loner loser. He doesn't like friends and fun. Archie took him a plate of fish, but he's pretending to be poorly. But he did look genuinely happy about it, and he like drew a little doodle of Archie in his notebook afterwards, and like put love hearts around him and stuff like that. That might have not happened. Etho was very sick, just throwing up constantly.
Let me see if I got anything that would make that happen to me.
So I have to ask, are the two of you related at all? Looks between the two Smiths.
Probably not. It's a very common last name.
I'm a bastard, so they just went with Smith.
Oh yeah, because a proud lineage of people who forged the weapons that people used to wage war. That's a bastard's last name.
Sorry, my bad.
I mean, you can bring it up, but
We have
with my father, but
none of this foolish concept of bastardry in the East. That is something special to your people. It is.
and a special people we are.
It is to each their own power to gain and to hold. Of course, there are those with an advantage, born in the right place at the right time.
And be sure not to tread on the snakes.
I mean, it just seems like marriage should matter.
Oh, of course. I'm not saying it shouldn't. Just that, should I move? Awkward cultural differences.
Luke, um, in among the Eton folk, is marriage like how easy is divorce?
That's a good question.
What I'm asking is, basically, would Micah's father technically be considered bigamous because he was married to someone in his homeland before he was kidnapped by crusaders?
I think he would, yeah. I reckon divorce is difficult and, in fact, nigh on impossible. There's not been no Henry VIII yet in this world.
You can probably do the thing though, where you get your former spouse declared dead if they've been gone for a long time, though.
Mm-hmm. And you can also just not reveal that you're already married.
That's probably what he did.
Just like a client we've got at work. Pretty hilarious.
That's big of them.
That is bigger than. Ew, not bigger than. Bigger the X.
I think there's
Anyway.
going to be a lot of that cultural stuff though that I'm going to have to figure out though. That's a big part of why we're doing this trip.
Indeed, I'm losing myself already. It's always the same. Honestly, I do find it easier to make my way around the towns if I go full Homelander. Back to the way it is. There is much ill sentiment, and has been for many years, against the Eton folk and the Crusaders who are coming from there. But that's not to say many of our own don't join some of them. Some of them pay ridiculously well.
Well, I certainly won't judge anybody that decides to, she does the air quotes, go native in the way they dress. I don't think it's going to help me much, but some of you might be able to blend.
What are you wearing at minute?
Fancy traveling dress.
He kind of looks you up and down, and he's like,
her picture in the thing is not far from.
"You will not want to wear that outfit for travelling in Keem. You will burn to a crisp, my lady." In fact, the same for all of us. Although those with cloaks may suffice at first, but all your garments are far too heavy for the long road ceased.
Well, that's part of the fun. We need to get new stuff.
How hot does it get there?
In the desert, very hot.
I once watched a man hard boil an egg by leaving it in the sun.
Neat.
My father said even the warmest summers couldn't compare to the average day there.
Verily.
Well, then I definitely want to spend some time in the city when we arrive. Acclimating?
Mm-hmm. Midway is a good stopping point, and certainly I expect we'll be there. Well, this is back in time a little bit, so I'll not really talk about when we're arriving there. But you'll
We'll
need
be
to
there
resupply.
soonish.
You'll be there at some point, and you'll have to be there for at least a couple of days.
So, in the interest of getting to know everyone, anyone else got family?
Gotcha, Smirks.
That want us to talk about them?
Not myself, I'd say Aaron. Samira would.
I don't know if you just forgot about the part where I literally finished saying I'm a bastard.
That's why I added the wants to talk about.
he, he gave you side eye when he added that.
An adopted family counts.
I was pawned off on the church and sent to Keem to fight in the Crusades.
You are just a depressing man.
I don't know. A lot of people say I'm kind of fun. I'm kind of fun, aren't I, Katya?
Kinda. I still think you could find a girl at some point. Or a guy.
This conversation is boring. Aren't there two men trying to kill you on this ship?
I believe there are, in fact, two men who have a desire to kill me.
Isn't that less than normal?
That is, in fact, currently less than the normal.
Aaron blinks. There are people trying to kill you on my ship? Did you say that?
Oh, they're
Or
not.
did you just say there are people trying to kill me currently?
Oh, I thought I was just. I didn't realize that was actually conversation either. I think,
That's the plan. That's what I go for.
but I'm absolutely down for it to be conversation.
Yeah, I'm down. I
Oh, no,
thought it
yeah.
was conversation.
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
said it. Like, that was me tricking you into saying something by being a voice in your head.
Okay.
And it worked pretty well.
It did work. Yes. Well, I mean, there's generally people trying to kill me. I'm not too worried about it.
Well, you should be careful. I don't doubt if we aren't careful in many of our destinations, he points at the various places on the map, there will be plenty of people trying to kill all of us.
This is gonna be fun.
Well, we've 30 soldiers down below deck, and Samira, who counts for maybe twice as many, and yourselves can't be sold short. I've seen what you're capable of. Has he? Has he, though? Well, yeah, you brought back two of those things tied up, so he saw that at least.
I'll absolutely say that he has.
He will say that he has, for sure.
It's complimentary.
I mean, as long as we don't piss anybody off, I think we should be fine.
Oh, there's plenty of people over there that are pissed off that we're there.
That's the one. We don't come following a welcome party, shall we say. We come following a murderous horde. But
So
family,
we'll
yes, not myself, Adalga. Disowned, as it were, as a young boy. But I made my own way. I was 21 years old when I walked into the jungle. No, I was 18 years old when I walked into the jungle, and 21 when I walked out, and by God, I was a rich man. Anyone familiar with that Miller fella? No? Uncultured nerds. And then Samira would say, 3 older brothers, all dead. Killed, as you can expect.
Oof.
Buhaira was my home.
Smith, you are now traveling with people who have not chosen this life. Our stories, our families are not going to be uplifting.
She does like a big nod and says, I know of you, Archie Smith.
Oof. I have, well, on my end, my wife is dead, but I got 2 kids. They're perfectly fine.
Oh, how old?
He is 34. Or, sorry, you're not asking about Oliver. One's 16, the other 14.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My son's taking up essentially the forge for me as I go on this adventure.
Making lots of horseshoes.
Whatever needs to be made of steel.
I mean, if he's half as good as you are, I'm sure he's going to make fantastic jewelry.
I believe he'll surpass me in a number of years. Kid's smart.
Well, Micah.
I'm pretty sure most of you already know my family, so I'm not going to go into that.
Would a Dogger know your family?
You know of them at least. Duke is maybe, I don't know. Have you got like current affairs or politics?
Let's have a fair
Area
high
knowledge?
society.
That'd tell you how to behave in it.
Area knowledge and Newton.
That'd do it potentially.
Can we roll it?
Yeah, get a roll. You get like a success by nah. You know she's got a duke for a dad, but you don't know the specifics of her family. But Aaron would ask Micah. Yourself, you've spoken of your father.
Yes, he was captured by Crusaders 40 years ago, 30 or 40 years ago.
Samira
But
nods.
my mother, through her side, Katya already knows this, but through her side, I am actually descended from the famed pirate Eric Adeladson.
I've heard the name. Sailors have spoken it, perhaps. He'll go into a big story. Wasn't he like the king of the Western Ocean? And he once tamed a whale with a tooth so long it was skewering half the Navy's ships, and it's something you've never heard before. Bree says it with true conviction.
Yeah.
He grins. He's like, I thought so. Amazing.
It's an impressive lineage.
There's magic in your blood, I'm certain. The Yei have a strange magic. I don't know of it. Not like ours.
No? Is it neither Palchester's advantages or divine favor?
No. A secret third
Imagine
thing.
she said something that fits in.
Yeah. Not like the Tove artifacts recovered or the ancient scripture that can summon strengths. As I know, a secret third thing. Uh-huh.
Well, I hope it's not too much of a secret, because I'd love to learn about it.
I expect we'll meet some, there is certain to be a boat at Shekabek's dock from Yue. Always is. There may be two if we're lucky. The time of year is right. It is the safest time for the crossing from the south. Or so my captain tells me. He'll turn back and nod at the very solemn, huge, silent guy up there. He's like I don't know, Vin Diesel type, except like 60 years old.
Ah yes, the winds from the Eastern Ocean are much calmer.
Indeed. The passage from there to Ettendon is impossible by any standards. Your ship will be wrecked. No one makes the journey. Not to mention of the creatures you may see. I'm shocked we have not seen one yet already. They do love to inspect the boats, but I don't think wood is much of a treat for them. The great beasts of the deep. Anyone can roll detect lies if they like, just in general. So I'll give you a +2 if you've got detect lies, or if you've not. Detect lies at +2, or default at +2. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. This guy weaves a lot of tall tales. He talks shit all the time. So you're never really sure if he's telling the truth or not. And in this case, you're still not really sure, but it's always at least a bit convincing. And he does go quite solemn when he talks about this. Like, pauses with a piece of ceviche in his hand. Like, But they get nasty. They're like people. They made trashes just for fun. Choose to believe! Because it'd be better if he were lying. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else anyone would like to discuss while most of you are together? Go on.
Yes, first, can Micah do a linguistics roll to, because Pion's name is obviously not an Ettenfolk name, right?
Correct.
Can she give linguistics?
Yeah. Failure. But only by one. Is it? Whereabouts are you from? Originally? That doesn't really matter though. We're failure by one. You're not from Ettendon though,
yeah,
right?
She recognizes that the name isn't Ettenfolk, right?
Yeah, you at least recognise that it's not Ettenfolk. You get that at +1. If it is, it's a really weird name.
Micah will excuse herself.
There is the off chance that it's. No, I'm not going to tell you that on a failure.
But yeah, she'll excuse herself and take the chance to speak with him one-on-one, because it's a crowded ship and suddenly this section's empty.
It is very quiet in there if you go back to your cabin.
A knock. Peon?
The door will slide open. Good evening.
Morning. You haven't been handling the travel well.
I'm not a fan of boats.
You hear some Aretho's vomit go past the back of the boat.
Anyways, we were discussing things up above, and topic of people's parentage, ancestry, culture, all that came up. I was just wondering, your name is not Etinfolk. Where are you from? You're here on behalf of the king of Etenriche, but are you originally from there?
My family emigrated from northeast of Etenries, but I was born in the city, and before serving the king and his advisor directly, I was a member of the City Watch. So I have only known the city.
Based on that, you'd expect the closest relation might be a group of people like Ethos, nomads living in the wilds in the northeast of Etenriche.
Yeah. That's certainly different.
I've gotten that question a lot over the years because I don't look entirely native, and the name, but I haven't changed it because I guess I'm proud enough of who I am, or comfortable enough that it's never really bothered me.
Understandable. My father did eventually give in to all of the name foolishness. They're the other way around in Yue. So they kept calling him by his family name as though it were his given name. So he just switched the order he went by.
I could see that making life a lot easier. I feel bad for not socializing as much as I could. Perhaps I'll feel better enough to um, join everybody this evening. You're the second person to stop by today to check in, and um, it's genuinely touching to, I don't know, to know that you guys are interested in my well-being.
Oh, you're welcome. Another thing, are you religious?
Very much not. That's not a
All
problem.
right, never mind.
I would like to say that saying you're not religious is generally a weird thing to do. But
Okay, Shall we redo that then?
amongst this group in particular, you know that it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen and heard Archie be actively sacrilegious,
Yeah, exactly.
so being atheistic is far from the worst.
And yeah, between you and Micah, who you've been with when Archie's been being extremely sacrilegious.
Yeah. So no, we don't need to redo that.
If you were, I'd have invited you along. Myself and Aaron are going to check out a magnificent temple when we dock in place name.
Shekabek.
I do appreciate the offer, but that does not sound like the kind of thing I would enjoy in the least.
Dumbass.
Of course.
The Grand Temple at Shekabek is a sight to behold. Recursive geometric patterns made from recovered Tove tiles that refract light into a rainbow, arranged in such a way that the praying floor, which is just like a huge domed atrium, gets like a rainbow focused all across it, and it's a pretty magical sight.
Well, I'll allow you to get back to resting and might see you later today.
Much appreciated.
A little while after Michael leaves, but before anyone else comes back to the apartments, you hear a couple of people shuffling around out there. Peon. And one of them will say, like, "This is one there. That's the cabin. Aye. That's where we'll do the job. Alright. Stay quiet. I don't think there's anyone around here, but can't be too careful." And then they leave. And yeah, we've already established all that, but that's just a taste of what you see.
So
As you-
perhaps breakfast breaks as people sort of go their ways.
in Doodly. I think I'm happy with that. Aaron will say that he wants to get some reading done.
I'm gonna try my hand at fishing.
That's an option. I'm sure a lot of the soldiers have been trying their hands at fishing. I think Nash might be the first person to have caught anything, and it with that huge trunk fish. And I'm sure he's been being mocked as well the whole time by all the soldiers. They're like, "You're never gonna catch nothing, pal, with that weird fat pole and bait you're using. Nothing eats that." And then they're just like laughing at him as he stood next to his pole all night, and then he's like, just like, and then a bell rings on it, and yeah, he hauled in that thing. But yeah, you can try your hand at fishing for sure. Give me a fishing check. Is it perception based?
She actually has the skill.
Got the skill. Oh man, humans on surfboards look so delicious. I would eat the shit out of a human on a surfboard.
The +2 is not included. I subtracted it.
Holy shit, you catch something.
I mean, it probably takes a while, so over the course of the day.
But still, it's not one of those you know, gigantor fish, but it's still a very strange fish of the likes you've never seen before.
She is pretty excited.
It's like, it's just a ball, and it's covered in bristly little fins that are all pointy at the ends, and it's all big and fat. And like a few of the sailors will be like, "What is that cursed beast you've brought aboard?" Not the sailors, the soldiers. Like, "Oh god, 'tis an ill omen, my lady. You've caught a demon."
It's not a demon, it's a fish,
A bunch
right?
Of, a bunch
Looks
of
over
the
the
sailors
sailors.
are just laughing at him.
Anything in this horrific land has to be a demon. Humans were not meant to travel this way.
Oh, I love the sea.
They say we might get there tomorrow, Etho. Can we get you some bread?
They are liars. Liars.
They did say that yesterday also.
Yeah, they did. He said it every morning the past 3 mornings that you should arrive by tomorrow. And he's like, we most certainly will arrive tomorrow. But I think it might be a good time for a quick break without any complaints.
Sounds good. I'm looking
Or
forward to getting Archie ambushed, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. That's pretty much where I feel like we ought to come back in. But yeah, we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. See how long it takes. I've got to sneak past the sleeping guy. So yeah, burp. We are back. You've had a nice breakfast. Just a bit of a scene there. Some socialising between all of you, which has not really happened up until now. But you've at least all had one conversation with each other now, I think. Maybe not Pian and Adalga, but just about everybody. What the fuck?
I kind of have been imagining that there's been a fair amount of conversation off screen over the course of the last week or so.
Essentially, though, we are fast forwarding to the night after that breakfast, shall we say? Finally, no, because that breakfast occurred at. It doesn't matter. It's
This evening?
It's the evening of the third time that he's said, we shall for sure arrive by tomorrow, and it is it is the pitch of night. It is dark. Most of the ship below deck is, pretty dimly lit. There's probably a lantern hanging just here in the middle.
This
You-
is night now, right?
It's
I heard
night.
that correctly.
Correct.
I mentioned it last week, but I'll go ahead and say again that after overhearing the assassination plans, Peon does slide a note under Archie's door letting him know that they will come for him tonight.
Correct. So, yeah. Maybe it's there when you get back from breakfast. No, because that breakfast didn't necessarily happen this morning.
Could be a different breakfast.
Yeah. Either way, a note. But it were also fun to have Archie just glance up and see the note get slid in.
Yeah. That works for me.
Especially like him not realizing who actually is warning him.
So yeah, I should have given the church guys names, really, and it's very lazy for me to not have. But they pretty much like Chad and Tim. So Chad's gonna attempt to do the deed, I think, and essentially, yes. So, Etho, you're kind of generally attempting to sleep. Give me an IQ check, please.
Come on, you can do it. Roll 20. Failed by 1.
I see one from before it.
Oh, looks
You
like I
rolled
rolled
2,
twice
yes.
weirdly. So,
Yeah, so
You're rolling with disadvantage.
you'd wake up to hear the sound of the porthole next to Archie's door banging. Pian, I'm guessing you weren't even asleep because of.
No.
And you likewise hear that porthole slam briefly, presumably in the wind. Micah and Adalga, I feel like you can give me IQ checks as well because it's very close to your cabins. It's like a loud sudden sound out of the blue. So Adalga, you might stir and roll over briefly, but you're not sure what's woken you up for the next second. Micah, you're sound asleep still, if you were indeed sleeping. You don't have to have been.
Right.
You most likely were. So Etho, let me make that. Yeah, you would see a guy stood in the hallway, looking over.
Do we know who to recognize them?
He's blocked mostly by the mast that comes down through this level, so you just see that there is a guy stood there,
I will
kind of
see him.
looking over. And as you start standing up, he sharply turns around, heads away, and starts going upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I saw the other guy here.
Oh
There
no!
was one staring at me. I misunderstood. I would have stayed seated if I.
Yeah, sorry, that's my
sorry.
bad. I should have said that. Yeah, no, you don't see this guy, but you saw that guy
Did
there.
you mark the one as red and one as like another color, just so we can identify
Green?
between the two?
That makes sense. Fuck
Okay.
off, Emily. Nice try.
All right. So I saw red.
Yeah, you see red. Just kind of recognizing that someone stood in the hallway. Could have been them that woke you up, but you're not sure. But then,
How often do people come in this area on a certain night?
If somebody had to use the restroom from any of these cabins,
fairly frequently.
Okay.
Like it's a thoroughfare from below ground. They don't bring the horses up through here or anything, but the soldiers.
Okay, well I'll stay seated then.
Some of the soldiers do occasionally travel through. If you're staying seated, he kind of just stands there for a while, looking over. Yeah. And give me hearing checks. Etho,
He's standing there,
Pian. Yeah, he's just standing there.
so it's not like it's obviously just okay. Yeah, no. It's got my cackles up. I'm gonna like drop the hands to the side, like she's sleeping, and then bring out the claws.
he's no more suspicious than you are, but he's pretty suspicious.
Can I come out of my room armed at this point? No armor, but with my.
You could, but
Weird.
it'd be a bit weird.
Yeah, it'd be really weird.
Because
Just
essentially
noise
you
it.
just woke up, but you don't know why. And you're on a boat with 50 people.
I've got impulsive, so I felt like that might be. Because I know there's a murderer about for Archibald, because we talked about that earlier. I just felt like that might be fitting.
That could be fitting.
He did say it generally, though.
He did say generally, though, yeah, because we didn't press that much. No, I do think it'd be a bit weird to walk straight out with your weapon in your hand.
Alright, then I'll just walk out barehanded if that's alright.
Yeah. Get up and step out. You see a guy, like, about to open Archie's door.
Oi!
He sees you. Guy over here sees
Can
Adelga.
Archie
And the rest
Archie
of us also
open
roll IQ.
Micah, I think you just wake up with that and catch you too if you were sleeping.
Can Archie open his door at this point?
At this point, yes. Open door.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
Archie
time for
opens the
initiative.
door and stabs this guy in the neck.
It's speeds times.
Best drug.
Best
This
drug.
is not at all how I wanted this to go.
Juvenile. Now do your speeds. Sorry, Etho.
Rest of us did them at the right time simultaneously.
Yeah, that was weird.
Okay, Idri and
And in order
Okesh.
for the three of us.
Yeah, we did it almost simultaneously, but like just in order enough.
I ruined it though. No, I take it back. Etho ruined it.
Who was Tim or
One sec.
the other guy's name?
Chad.
Right, Chad. Which one was stabbed?
No one's been stabbed yet.
Which one might be stabbed?
Tim.
Yeah. Chad's meant to Chad for that. Also, Luke, check the Discord quickly.
They don't look as delicious from that angle. Okay, apologies for the delay. Chad's strong. I also need to roll the speeds, numbnuts. Oh, Tim, why are you so slow? Speed. Chad, you're just slow as Tim. Not shocked. Probably got everyone right.
Could be.
Okay, Catcher, you have awoken in bed to the sound of Oi!
Gotcha. Looks in the direction of the door and does nothing.
Archibald, so there's a closed door in front of you. You hear Oi.
Okay, actually, how strong is that door?
Very flimsy. And swings pretty freely in both directions, I want to say. Held on by ropes, maybe. So it doesn't swing that freely because it rests against the floor. You have to lift it slightly to open and close it. But it's just a thin, lightweight piece of wood.
So theoretically, if I kicked it, it would go down into that guy?
Yeah, if you kicked it hard enough, it'd at least open into him.
Alright, Archie's gonna kick the door.
Kick door. Have you got kicking technique?
Forced entry.
No, but that'll hit.
If you've got forced entry, you can do more damage to the door.
Oh, you know what? Weird. Okay.
Oh wow.
Forced exit.
So it lets you boost your successful damage. So yeah, door's size modifier is like at least a +1, or it probably is a +1. And brawling -2 hits with a kick. Your forced entry lets you deal extra damage. Let's look it up. Searching
I
is not
took
the
it as
quickest way to do it.
I've even put 2 points into the skill, and I've never used it.
I've always wanted to use it. How it's meant to be used. Trait list, skills. Someone's probably already beat me to this. Forced entry is
Yep.
page 196.
Add +1 per die if it's a what's your DX? Or what is your DX relative to that skill?
So it's like,
+1.
Add +1 per die.
so roll thrust. Normally thrust -1 for a kick, but +1 per die.
I think it's actually thrust +1 for a kick, because you do -2 to skill, might even be +2 to damage. Anyhow, that'll be plus, so 5 damage to that door.
5 damage to the door will... Oh, basic set. Again, look at my tables real quick. HP and DR of objects, and cover wood 2 inches thick. Yeah, you could kick it wide open. What's the rope like? Oh yeah, the rope. No crushing, but I'd disagree on this instance. Yeah, you kick the door off and into him, and it will push and maybe not do as much damage as that. Let's see.
Perhaps DX roll though if it's not doing damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna see if maybe he can just prevent it from hurting him at all.
I mean, no damage, but DX to stay standing.
Yeah, door did just come flying at him.
Yeah.
He's knocked back through the porthole, and Archie looks around. No one's there. Super happy.
Not quite like that, but he is, he's pushed back slightly and his dagger that he's holding in his hand becomes unready. But he's still stood. Etho.
She'll start to slowly stand. It looks like it's mostly covered, so she'll get to a crouch this turn.
Okay. Pian.
Bien will open his door, not worrying about being quiet.
Dalga.
Does this guy have a weapon out?
Yeah, he's holding a dagger. A long, pointy, but fancy dagger.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to roll versus impulsiveness real quick. I will not charge and punch him. I will instead go back and grab my weapon.
Take a step back, grab weapon. Micah. Have you got fast draw for it?
No, I think it'll take until my next. I think I'll have to waste my next turn for
Yeah,
it.
I think your next turn will be ready in it. Micah.
Micah will sit up.
Good. Oi.
She'll also grab her her Gian if she can when she hears the door.
Right. You
It's
already.
presumably kept really close to her stuff. There's not much room for her stuff.
I think. Can you? I don't think you can change posture and ready a weapon. But I'll say you were already set up because you did wake up briefly. So yeah, you can ready your Jan.
Okay.
Chad. That's me. Chad's just gonna say, "Oh, fuck." Let's just roll a quick. This is maybe not the funnest thing to do, but it is like the most Chad thing to do. Step back. Think. He readies his sword. Tim is gonna consider his options and attempt to dive through the porthole. And it's not really a dive, he vaults, so he's half in it. He just drops the dagger at the floor. Catch
She'll set up.
So is he currently like stepbrothered?
Step.
Lol.
Yes. well, yes, because he's not actually stuck, but he is in a position where you could easily put a caption over that says he is stuck. He's currently stepbrothered, but he's stepbrothered like this. There, let's get facing proper. Oh god, but Pian did open the door behind me. Oh shit, oh fuck. It's done now. Archibald is stepbrothered. But he's
All right,
also
so
unarmed.
Archie's gonna stab him in the leg and use the stab to pin him against the wall.
Cool. Grappling with an impaling weapon.
Okay, so the leg penalty.
-2 or -3.
Where is that? There it is.
Pertinent notes, hit locations.
-2.
Right leg is close to you.
All right, stabbing him in the right leg. Let's deceptive this one level.
Okay.
Should not have done that.
Cool. Whew. Whew, Etho.
Stand up.
Up she get. Pian.
And I think I have one. When I finish standing, I can do one text, so I'll go here.
Please don't take advantage of me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was gonna stick a finger right up his butt, but as much as I love our heads working together, I'm just gonna grab him by the back of the pants and try and yank back.
So grapple to begin with.
Okay.
DX or wrestling.
Oh yeah, I don't want skills. I want combat. Oh no, I want skills because I didn't put wrestling in combat.
That is a success. He can't defend against that right now. You're right behind him.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
So you grab him, kind of by the waist, ready to dirty dance him. Adalga, ready sword,
Spear.
spear, swing. Micah,
Just
Micah will start to say something. Actually, it's less than a second. She'll just say it. What's happening?
Yep.
And step to her door.
Step out of bed. Chad is going to. No time to waste. 1, 2, 3. Move to there. Yes. Yes. Movement varies. Movement varies. Why have I not got the cheat sheet open? Okay, yes.
Huh?
Yes. Moves to there warily. Tim, on the other hand, is currently grappled and is going to attempt to break free. Ignore the GM check. People are looking at those. It is the 8. This is a quick contest of strength, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Poor Tim. He's clearly the fuck up in their group.
Or maybe your best grappling skill. So if you're wrestling, well, it's almost definitely better than.
I think once he's been grappled, it's a quick contest of strength to determine whether or not pin. But if he's trying to break out, I think it's going to be another contest of skill.
It's a regular contest for a pin.
Well, what am I thinking of?
Regular contests are confusing. Actions after a grapple? That's what I'm looking for. Special combat situations, special melee combat rules.
70.
Thank you. Break free, quick contest strength. Foe has +5 if he's grappling you with 2 hands. So yeah, roll strength at +5. And you want a success of more than 5. Pian.
Oh, I want a successful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, strength plus 5. Try to succeed by more than 5. And you're still older than him. You're still
Take
older
down.
than him. No, that would just him resisting a break-free attempt. Lady Catcher.
She's good. She'll
She-
actively listen.
Actively listen, Archie. Please don't stab me in the leg. He doesn't say that. The voice in your head says, stab him in the fucking throat. Let him meet his god.
No, I think Archie's gonna put the point of his sword like on the guy's chest and say yield.
Etho?
So Chad hasn't. You said he is doing like menacing stuff.
He scurried forward and he's got a sword in his hand, but he's still very much hiding behind that pole.
All right, I'm gonna get behind this pole on the other side
Quite.
and take for my free step, and then out of my I'm gonna activate my 2 arms.
Swing, swing. Are they switchable? So takes a ready maneuver.
Yep.
Gotcha. Blood claws appear outer Etho's
No,
back.
I keep my blood claws.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, tendrils.
Tendrils, yep.
Tendrils. Blood seeps from Etho's back through your clothes, presumably.
Yep.
So I like to think that there's like a little stain appears, and then the blood bubbles and suddenly shoots out. Pian? Still holding this guy. He's got a sword against him. He was told to yield.
Yeah, I think I'm going to also try and get his maybe one of his arms. In addition, sounds helpful. What's an arm usually? 3, I think, right?
Yeah, only a minus. No, let me double check. Is -2, so only -1 to grapple it.
Yeah. All right.
But I think you're at a -2 if you're going for it with one hand. So if you're keeping one hand on torso and moving another hand to the arm, yep, you succeed. I think he can technically try and dodge. No, he's still right behind him. He's not been able to turn. I think I could have if I wanted to.
Yeah, you could. It like a -4 to DX.
What is the... I would have had to turn slightly on my last turn when I tried to break free. I just need to double check if I can.
Hands facing is off.
Oh yes.
If you've been grappled, you can't take a move maneuver. It doesn't really seem to mention, but I think you could change facing. Maybe let's say you could change back. No, it's too vague. I'm gonna say he's not changed facing and can't right now, at least for this fight. Pian changed grip. Dalga, you've got a ready sword.
Spear, but
Spear.
I'm
Ready
going to
bat.
I'm going to make a move maneuver over to here and end my turn.
Rightio. Yep, it is very much crouching and crawling through to get to there. Micah.
It probably wasn't directed at her, but there was an answer to her question. What's happening? Yield. So she will leave her room.
Open door. Yeah, if you're using all your move, I'm gonna say you can kind of just push the door open with your body and step to there. Rather than spending a turn opening it. Chad is just gonna...
I'm not with him.
But yeah, pretty much back away from your Adalga and say, ugh. He takes full move maneuver straight backwards, and keeps hold of his sword though, but is definitely defensive. And he says, "I'm no part of this." Tim, meanwhile, is just gonna spit and say, "I yield, heretic." Catcher, I'm guessing just listening actively. Archie, he says he yields, heretic. Slit his fucking throat.
No, not slit throat. Or no, I'm not gonna slit his throat. Chad! Yield!
Etho? Archie,
Boop.
you doing anything else while you
Boop.
do that, or just keeping it?
Out of character, he did say he yield.
No, Archie said
Oh,
Chad, because he knew who was going to attack him.
my bad.
Getting into sea with this guy.
Just taking
I can't remember. Can you do a grapple or wrestling check at the movement? At a 9?
If you do a move and attack, yeah,
yeah,
I'll do that then.
I think you can.
you can. I got that book open to that exact page.
Nope, I miss. But I am terrifying right now.
Yeah, we're just thinking that. He's pretty mentally sturdy, but still, you know, that is an unholy abomination. Pian?
Taking Tim down. So he rolls the best of his strength, dexterity, or grappling skill, which is probably strength.
It's probably actually a grappling skill, but still, that is like on the nose at best. So
Yeah. Can I narrate this?
Yeah.
Since it's just a takedown, can it be like one of those fun wrestling moves where you kind of roll onto your back and slam him into the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to do some kind of suplex on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. That's that, a big groan as he bounces against the ding 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 wrestling mat. Turns into a wrestling mat as you hit the ground. You're waking up from your weird punch drunk fever that you're having in the lucha mask, or the luchador arena. This is all just a Pian reliving a past life. This is actually a Mexican wrestling game. Everyone open technical grappling
Fucking weird.
and turn to page 1. You
Hey,
cracked
Dylan's
the
just-
code so soon.
Where is
We will
technical
have the
grappling?
I don't know, lost. Right.
We're not using technical grappling. We're just regular grappling, basic bitch grappling.
Basic bitch grappling. One day I'll learn technical grappling.
I learned it. I don't think it adds anything appreciably.
We should really exhaust regular grappling before we move on to it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Adalga. Etho just, like, ran up and tried to grab this guy.
Going to assume he's a bad guy then. Step forward. Yeah, that's within 2 range, right? Yep.
Yeah, but you're through me.
It's still possible. You can attack with a spear.
And you had
through
an additional penalty to hit because she's in C.
Correct. You may hit her if you miss. But it's still,
What's the penalty?
like, -2?
That sounds right.
I want to say you're also at just a -1 to using your weapon in here anyway. I don't think anyone's succeeded by only 1 on an attack yet.
Give me 1 second. Determines a +4, right? Or what's the +4 all out?
All out is, yeah, determined is the +4 all out.
I'll do that. So for a total chance of 16. Let's do that.
-2
For
to
the
hit into close combat. If you miss
darkness.
or they dodge, roll randomly.
Mhm.
I'll take the risk. I might get stabbed by Etho for it, but I'll take the risk. -3 +4 for a total +1, 16.
He's
12.
He's not grappled. He's gonna go for that dodge and retreat. Bad footing right now, definitely. But he's still, that's easily a dodge and retreat. Is it just versus a 9 to see if Etho gets hit?
Correct, yes.
Etho does not get hit. Micah.
Well, that looks sorted. She'll take a step to the not yet closed door and reach for her fancy armor.
Quite. Chad is gonna once again say, I have no part of this! And he's gonna take a step back and sheathe his sword, while also, like, holding his left hand out in front of him to try and, like, you know, defend himself against Etho with any chance he can. Tim...
This guy is with Tim all the time, right?
Constantly, yeah. They've not
Okay.
separated on the entire journey. They're wearing, like, the same clothes. They came together.
I bet they
wore
come
the same
together.
masks.
Brother?
If he'd have seen his stepbrother stuck, this would have ended very differently. Catch you getting out of bed?
Yeah, taking a step and putting on a bathrobe.
Catch you sleep in the nude.
No.
Sag. Archie? This...
Sorry, I stepped away from the computer.
It doesn't sound like Chad's yielding.
Tim? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And Peon just slammed Tim into the deck, so.
Yeah, Tim yielded. Peon's got that covered. So, I think Archie pops off through here.
Holy shit. I'm gonna say because of the general terrain and passing through people, you can't move that far. But you can end up in the same hex as a Dalga.
I also am at a size modifier above, I think, now. Because my extra limbs.
Oh, no, they just give you that reach because they're long.
No, they're not long.
They're not long. Are you normally a -1
Yeah.
or something, or?
No, I'd have to recheck it, but I remember there being some weird thing about SM, but whatever.
SM1 Etho. Horrifying. Like Venom or
Oh no, I misread that. I
Okay.
misread that. Ignore me. Ignore me.
Ignore her.
Ignore me.
Archie made a full
Any-
movement with Etho.
Archie also, while he's doing that maneuver, says, Chad, yield.
All right, I'm gonna go for a wrestling. I can get him at this range. I believe.
Did you only have to take a step?
All right. Yeah, I only had to take a step.
And into C, but you could easily spend an FP.
I will do that. It's hard to get him. Okay, wrestling at a plus. Can you go straight into a pin, or do you have to get him in the wrestle first? I'm trying to remember.
You've got to grapple first.
Okay.
I think you could all-out
Plus-
attack double to attempt to grapple and then pin, But you
No,
may
I'm
have
not
to,
doing all out.
Or rapid strike.
or rapid strike.
I'm not doing
You have
all
to
out or that.
grapple, take down, and then pin.
Yeah,
'Cause
so
they
you,
have to be on the ground.
I'm just gonna start with a grapple at a +4 because my extra I'm gonna be using the tendrils as well.
mhm. Plus
So,
2 per extra
plop.
arm after the first 2. Let's attempt to dodge and retreat this. It's only going to be at a +1 because he's got to dodge sideways. Oh, he still makes it, even with the bad footing. Whew. Sword away. He will change his face in ever so slightly, as is his prerogative. Pian.
Okay, so now we're going for the pin. And I think he gets a +3 because he's got one hand free and I don't.
This is a regular contest, so he just needs to succeed. Oh my god. If he has got a +3, then I think he resists it for now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh darn it! I forgot to say something. Can I say something?
But you know what? Because he has already yielded, so he might just let you pin him.
Oh.
So yeah, pretty
That's true.
much his heart's not in it. He's yielded. You pin him. You can say
Perfect.
something, Etho.
Oh gosh, shot the knee.
Oh gosh, not the
Means
knee.
go have sex with a goat.
Oh, that wasn't English. Go have sex with a goat. Adalga.
Just move up.
Move up. Micah. Grabbing fancy armor.
Turn 1 of 30.
Okay, so Chad has backed out. He's just gonna shout
Is that
again.
a corridor? Is it or
That's
off
the edge of the
ship?
boat. So he's like backed out
Okay.
into the door was open already, and he's backing out onto the deck. You see, he glances right as he does so, and he just shouts again, "I have no part of this!" He is gonna move to there though. He's like right at the edge, pressed up against the railing. Tim pinned. Catch you. Bathrobe getting put on. Archie.
Open door. Something about goats or something? What?
Shit, there really is only one way through there. You know what? I think Archie's gonna start climbing out the porthole.
Move to porthole. Begin climbing. If you spend an FP, I'll let you start climbing on this turn.
I'll spend the FP.
I would take an acrobatics to straight up dive through it.
Straight up dive through it.
Acrobatics at like maybe a -1 for the
While
back
he's
button.
there, should he also roll climbing?
Not if
You know
he's
what?
diving through it. Oh wait, actually yes, because you do need to grab on after you get through. Yeah, if you don't want to land in the sea, you should also roll climbing.
You know what? I am just gonna roll climbing.
Okay. Spend an FP, roll climbing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't.
You don't want that momentum.
You don't want
The-
us to have to turn around for you?
The consequences are a little high.
They'll turn the boat around. Maybe.
Yeah, but
We'll
in how
find you in the
long?
middle of the
'Cause
night.
Archie's not exactly a strong swimmer.
You've not got a surfboard with you, so you won't look delicious at least.
He's not armored, right?
No armor.
You're
But...
not gonna sink at least. Etho.
Nowhere to run, little man. And she's gonna look menacingly at him. You know what? I don't think I have Intimidate. I should buy the skill eventually, but I'm gonna say that as scarily as possible.
Roll.
IQ minus what?
It's will minus like 4, or acting minus. Might be will minus 5 or acting minus 4 or something along those lines. I could check it easily, but I'm being lazy.
Here's -4. I missed, but I don't know if you want to give any modifiers for him being truly scared.
A slight bonus. He's not scared. He caned his fear roll, but there is another guy right there who screams as you step through the door. He will like already kind of what's going on, but when you step through the door, this guy turns pale. In fact, that would technically be a failure. Oh, that's interesting. This guy's definitely getting a quirk. So he ended up with a 17, essentially, on the fright table. This poor soldier just stood outside. He faints. That's actually kind of perfect for you. This fella here will faint and slump over the railing, or just to the floor. He don't fall down anything. This map's slightly off scale, probably.
Oh, but yeah, I moved, and I guess, yeah, the Intimidate, I think that it's a full maneuver, so sure, yeah, that's me.
If you do it as a full maneuver, yeah. Pian, I don't like that look on your face, pal.
While holding the pin, we're gonna especially since he gave into it, Pian like grabs or maybe unhooks a sheaf of rope from his belt. He
Cool.
might have even been holding it, actually anticipating that this was happening.
Binding. Oh, it's turning into one of these kind of videos. I do like rope.
Do you want me to roll that now, or does it take the full second to pull the rope out?
It'll take you the full second to ready that rope. You did have him with 2 hands.
Yep, that's our rope.
Just a few moments ago.
If I had been holding the rope and thought about it, I could have just been binding him as I was grappling him, but oh well.
Adalga?
You've never
Sorry,
seen Etho do this. She's terrifying right now.
Yeah, to be fair, there is a girl who is doing serious magic right now on the boat. Blood magic, in fact. There are tendrils of blood, like, floating out her back, probably with pointy tips hovering over her shoulders, facing forwards, whilst blood claws are extended from her hands.
Do you want me to roll for fright?
It's a reaction roll, technically, that I gave myself, Luke.
No,
I don't know if you want to change that.
I don't.
Isn't he afraid of magic? I thought I heard that mentioned before our first session.
Psionics is what I'm afraid of.
Phobia of psionics. No, you should roll me a regular fright check. Yes.
How do fright checks work? I've never had. Okay, it's just a thing there.
Yeah, it's
Any modifiers?
just straight up, please. No, you're fine, but indeed this is high magic and gives you cause to, pause briefly, probably. But that'd explain the way you're staying back at the minute.
Yeah.
Also. Micah?
Oh, I can stab him from there.
You could, if you wanted to. She's also not in close combat with him anymore.
So it'd just be the -1 for using it indoors? In close quarters?
Yeah. -1.
No cover, maybe?
I don't think it counts for melee attacks. You just can't really target the right arm presently.
That's fine. I'm just going for a general thrust. Determined again. So a total of +3 then.
Darkness penalties as well, but well within ranges. He can't attempt to retreat anymore, really. So he's just gonna try and
He
dodge.
could, but he'd fall over that passed out dude there.
Exactly. Even if he did attempt to retreat, that's a hard fail on the dodge. Holy shit. Owie. Big owie. I do need to double check his DR because he's probably actually not got his armor on right now. He weren't really expecting this to happen. Was that just the torso, yeah? I didn't hear anything called, so usually assumed torso. Roll 1d6, please. We're at a 1? Not a 1.
4.
Targets max HP. Chad. My boy Chad. What they done to you, Chad? Max HP. He's a pretty sturdy boy though, is Chad. Chad the strong one. But still. 8 impaling to the torso. Is
For
normal.
times 2.
I should have set preferences before this. Okay, so he's rolling for pain. He fails. He's not already wounded. He needs to roll for knockdown and stunning. He succeeds that. I just typed yes into the ether. Rolling HT to remain conscious.
You
Failing.
did what into ether?
I typed yes into the ether. The target has suffered a wound with severity 0. He's failed his roll to remain conscious, so he falls unconscious. Combat is over. And pasted into roll 20 chat. Down he goes. And at this very moment, there's a loud whistle from the crow's nest, and the bell starts being rung from up there. And then, in Keemtani, almost definitely, land ho! Land ho!
That's rude.
Land ahoy! Ship ahoy! They look like Frenchmen. Sorry, these are voice lines from Cutthroat's Terror on the High Seas. An excellent 90s pirate simulation game. Yeah. Let's close turn order. So that guy drops. Etho. And Adalga, you're right on top of him right now. What will your immediate actions be? No one, in fact, you're incredibly lucky because suddenly everyone is looking to the bow. I didn't get corrected. Everyone's looking to the bow. And indeed, it's not hard to spot a twinkling of light. The great lighthouse of Midway. In the distance. You'll be arriving in the next hour or so.
Oh, I'm grabbing Chad, by the way, and dragging his ass in.
Grab him and drag him. He's bleeding.
Dion pretty much does the same thing with Tim. Kicks the door shut behind him.
Aaron.
Drink some water.
Hello?
You poke out, nobody's there.
Well, except they're.
Except that there's several people there.
Awesome in front of Katya.
Drags him where, sorry?
Into his cabin.
Yeah, Micah is gonna follow, because that's some guy who tried to attack them. Your door does not stay shut for long.
If indeed
Yeah,
you shut it.
Yeah, well, I said he kicked it closed.
Oh, okay. You just grab it with your foot as you... Or you could have easily pulled it in towards you and then kicked it shut afterwards. Yep. Winslow kicks the door shut. Which one's Winslow?
Robert Pattinson.
Radio. It's so confusing. Actors should just all have the actor's name in films. Don't you think? Robert Pattinson.
Like Bill from Groundhog Day.
Just change their name for each role.
Yep.
It's much simpler that way.
Yep. No. Bruce Wayne should have been called Robert Pattinson in the most recent Batman film. I'll
Yeah,
die on this
your
hill.
door's getting opened immediately.
Okay. Well, Peon is quickly and expertly hog tying Tim.
Oh yeah, Tim's protesting. Honestly, yeah. Once he realizes you're binding him, he does indeed start protesting, and he's like,
He can
We might
protest
have
all
a
he
fair
wants.
bit more room elsewhere.
"This is hardly necessary, I think."
He's not long for this world. I don't think we need to worry about creature comforts.
Fuck you say, you dog.
Oh, you're not excited? You get to meet your god.
He spits. He's like, "Is this the justice you'll be seeking for someone attempting to take care of a criminal?"
Why
Yeah,
doesn't
Peon
somebody start
grabs-
explaining what's going on?
Chad will say,
Leon, can we take him out there so everyone can be involved here?
"You can
You
all
really
already hear it, but
think that's best?
there is a wall in the way." "Chad, they're gonna kill me!" And Chad shouts like, "This is murder!"
Didn't Chad pass out?
Oh no, yeah, Chad's unconscious. Chad's been murdered.
Also, I tossed Chad right here. And I put my and then put all my bloody instruments away.
Fair dues. Aaron's stepping out of his cabin.
As you guys start coming out, like Archie just emerges from the porthole.
Oh, I forgot you were even outside the porthole. So you've just climbed across the outside of the ship.
Yeah.
Give me a climbing
Yes.
check.
Katya, it appears they attacked Archie.
Yep.
Yeah.
As he crawls through the portal.
Yeah.
Oh god.
There's not anybody else out there with you, is there?
Tim catches a glimpse of Chad bleeding, and he says, "You bastards! You'll pay for this. I have a writ
Peon
of the."
will grab the back of his hair in the back of his head and just slam his face into the deck. Shut him up mid-sentence.
I am gonna find the writ. Like, start patting his pockets. Find that writ.
You find no writ on his person, at least. Pian, you know where they've been keeping the possessions generally. Give me a search if you want to like go real thorough.
I don't know how thorough I want to get on this guy.
It'd be a bit weird for him to keep a writ in his small clothes.
Nah, that's a good point.
Yeah, you should probably go rummage through his bag. Peon's like, you know what? Peon even says just give me 10 minutes and then we'll see if he can swim.
How about we hear their side as well?
Yes.
Gentlemen?
Let's hear your side.
He forces his head sideways so his teeth aren't in the floor anymore, and he says, "This man is a heretic, spreading foul, ill slander against the church, and he is wanted, and by the laws of your land, he is rightfully due execution."
Satisfied?
Where are we right now?
At open sea, or by the sound of the calls from the crow's nest, we're arriving at Midway. And depending on the port we arrive in, he suddenly
Not
shuts
at
up.
port yet. I look up at Katya and then Tuni say, "Can I kill him, please?"
Dibs.
She replies in a tune, "We aren't murderers."
You aren't one.
willfully ignores that reply.
Did you say dibs out loud? Peon?
Or maybe some thematically appropriate version.
Do you speak
Well,
an
then I'll-
appropriate accented version of a toonie?
I believe I do.
Cool.
Oh, you speak a tuning. Oh, shit.
A lot of Katane will give you some degree of it.
That still doesn't work, I don't believe. I forgot to test it.
It worked for me. I got it.
Do you see
Okay.
I am?
Yep.
Does anyone else see I am?
I can.
Well, oh yeah.
I see it's speaking a toonie.
There we
But
go.
not
It
I am.
works.
Hey, it's
Okay,
working.
So that one works.
I will take Chad and huck him in Peon's room then and close the door.
Whoa, no!
Can we not
Stop!
jump too far here?
What are you people doing? Aaron will say. Who are these dying men? Crusaders?
That's what we're finding out.
These two are from your cousins. Milady. Queen Julia's emissary had them aboard.
That's
Kale
disappointing.
requested it. Tim turns to try and look at you as best he can catch you, and he says, "My lady, I apologize profusely, and likely I should be put to justice for the disturbance I've caused you in your quarters. But I am only seeking to carry out the church's justice against the bastard, the heretic, whom the church, I'm certain, will overlook your harboring of him, if you were to allow us to prosecute him rightly in St. Fabian."
This is not the time or the place for a crusade. You're
Sorry,
out of line.
our post checking that he could have managed to say that, but yeah, that's as best he can manage, and then he frowns and scowls, and he's like, "Well, milady, I beg of you not to have me killed, and to please give Brother Chadius medical attention, urgently."
Out of character.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Chadius?
He's got a severity 0 wound. He's also currently bleeding, so he'll be losing FP, but I forget the rate at which he's losing FP. Has anyone got that pyramid with conditional
minute.
injury open?
They fall down and lose
make
one
it not
FP per
matter.
minute.
1 FP per minute, so he's definitely already lost at least a couple of FP, but he's not quite at 0 yet.
You won't hit 0.
FP.
No,
Chad, why not?
because what I rolled.
He's unconscious, but bleeding, presumably, from...
Yeah, bleeding.
Because somebody made a first aid check.
Oh, I did not look at the first aid check. There we go. He is no longer bleeding. Micah has been performing first aid on him, so he will not reach 0 FP.
Archie? What are your thoughts on this?
He also doesn't regain consciousness, though.
Well, I was gonna let them live. I don't know how I feel about that now, but
If we let them live, they'll run
Because
to
of their
their
threat?
little church. Voice in your head, nattering away. Just kill them quickly. Better to ask forgiveness than permission.
If you're worried this is going to get back to me, don't worry about that. If you're feeling merciful, I appreciate it.
Stop that fucking idiot bandaging his wounds and stab this one in the head. He's all nice and tied up.
yeah, there's really only one thing for it, and I think, yeah, Archie draws his knife and stabs Tim, and
Hold on.
You can attempt to stop him, Micah. Archie
No,
draws his
that's all
knife.
she says.
No. Okay.
Beyond will.
Coy, just give me a grapple check.
A grapple check.
Oh, this is a faster one.
Wrestling.
I assume you've got combat reflexes, PN.
Yes.
Yeah. So Archie's fast drawing knife, swing, wrestling check. Give me the attack also though, Archie.
This will be verse vitals, so that is -2.
It telegraphed, right?
Yeah, he can't dodge.
So telegraphed +4. You might not be going all out. There will be darkness penalties of -3.
So a total of -1.
Did you say -2 for vitals? It's -3 for vitals.
Not for me.
Not for you. Targeted attack, vitals. Okay, so the wrestling check I don't think would be enough to... And I think a sacrificial block only allows you to get yourself hurt, really. So I think you will stab Tim. But I think... Pian's got the reflexes. Let's leave it to chance, shall we? Ooh, it's a 10. Perfectly average. In my head, when
No,
I said...
it's horrible.
When I said I left it to chance, in my head I was saying 9 or less. It's blocked by Pian.
That's fair.
So yeah, knife
Archie's quick.
connects with Tim's vitals. Roll me the damage, please, Archie.
Terrible.
Terrible. And this guy is probably wearing a bit of DR. So you know what? It didn't get through. Tim saved briefly, and Pian then grabs your arm.
Archie,
might
what
be
the
able-
hell?
I might be able to get some information out of him. Let's.
We don't have to kill them just because it's easier.
No, but they
Tim
can
screams,
mysteriously disappear.
by the way, when the knife comes down. And then, ugh!
If nobody sees them killed, then who's to say what happened to them on this long ocean journey?
We don't have to kill them.
We really should, though. They're going to be a problem.
Tim's
And they will
praying.
bring more problems.
Thinking about it, I don't know if we ever established there being a kind of Latin church language.
I believe we ever discussed that.
No.
I don't think there is because
Pretty sure
No.
it's just
Archie
been
would take
vernacular.
Yeah, it's just he starts praying. It's in the fancy language of the church. He's just praying quietly to himself, is Tim.
Theon rolls his eyes. Archie, just close the door.
I think Archie nods and closes
What?
the door.
Whoa.
I don't know how I feel
Right.
about you murdering this man on my
Earth is
boat.
on with all of you.
We aren't executing people that surrendered.
If word were to slip that these men did not reach the destination with the rest of this healthy crew, I may draw the ire of the church, and I can't have that.
Then what do you propose we do?
He frowns.
Leave them behind when we
Yeah.
leave.
Release them when we leave port.
Agreed. Release them when we leave port. If they're going to potentially cause harm for you in St. Fabian, then we can make up excuses for the few days we're there. And then release them as we leave.
Is there anything? No, she won't hear what's going on behind the door if there's anything.
I'm fine with that. Open the door again.
Is Tim dead?
I'm torn between wanting him to be and also having the acute hearing.
You heard all that conversation.
Yeah, so probably not. In fact, we'll even say that the manhole is open. Manhole. Porthole.
Cinematically, Tim has crit failed his fright check though, and so it is all quiet. And for a second, you all think Tim's dead, but he's just passed out and pissed and shit himself.
I really, this is gonna come back to haunt all of us.
As Aaron said, so would their disappearance.
Their mistress, I forgot her name, Ettendon Council, but Holly, their mistress, Lady Holly of Utamir. She's likely already sent message that they're on the vessel to Queen Julia. Queen Julia will likely have men expecting their arrival in Fabian. We should make our main port in Shekabek first, and then a very brief stop in St. Fabian, I would suggest. Perhaps if you all need to spend more time there, we could travel by the road.
Or we could take the first option. I like the first option. We just
Gotcha nuts.
pull up to the dock, throw them off, and leave.
We need to resupply at some point.
The voice
It's
in your head
already
is,
the plan that we're gonna stop there. We don't need to be talking about that.
sorry, talking about what? I got lost for a second.
We don't need to talk about deciding to go to port right here at the place that was just cited because we were already planning on it. Aaron's been saying we're a day away for days.
That's true. But I think the thought might have been to stop at St. Fabian first, rather than Shekabek. Simply because you arrive at that first, because it's on the west coast of the island.
That'll work.
But St. Fabian's where you don't want to be now, given that there'll be people probably waiting for this boat to come into port. Because you can send birds across the sea.
Is there any reason not to skip the hostile port entirely and just go to the one that is, well, also potentially hostile, but not actively hostile?
Oh, the other one's not going to be actively hostile at all, really. There's almost no chance that... Oh, right, I see, it will be potentially hostile because you come across as crusaders.
Cultural differences.
Somewhat. Yeah, you can go straight to that one. I'm making more a thing out of this than it should be at all.
Yeah, let's just go to the Keem port.
So you will pull in. It's a big fancy city. Unfortunately, this
Wait,
map.
wait.
No, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. This map's not been adjusted. It's
No, I mean, we're still in a conversation.
still in a conversation. Radio.
Yeah, Katja concluded, let's go to the other city, but that was just a statement made in a conversation.
It did a Star Wars style wipe for me in my brain. Sorry. You hacked my brain with it. It's your fault, not mine. Yes. So Tim's unconscious also now. something that Pian did seemed to have made him faint while he were praying. But he's...
Gotcha will call for the physician.
You will send for Thomas, the proper doctor in the expedition. Thomas will
Yes, yes. Ever since we lost an important person while traveling, Gotcha likes to travel with the doctor.
At least one who doesn't do medicine with bees.
I mean, the bees worked once.
Good lord. And Thomas will, like, look angrily at the spear that clearly caused the wound. And then also say, what's wrong with this one? And then wake Tim up, who is just gone all pasty and is keeping his gob shut unless anyone asks him or addresses him directly from now on.
Gotcha will explain to the doctor that they picked a fight that they couldn't handle, and can he patch them up?
You fools, he says. Your friend's lucky to be alive, honestly. He might not make it. It's a godsend we're making port right now. And more people will come with stretchers as well. This one's fine, he slapped after slapping Tim awake. Look at me. And then Tim just says, may I get some clean undergarments and breeches? Thomas looks at the rest of you. Can I dress him?
Of course.
Peon kind of lifts him by the legs and flips him out over the threshold. I don't care what you do with him. Slides the door closed.
Your guards, whose names I've forgot. Like, the main, not soldier types. Well, still...
It's alright.
Yeah. People come, grab, they'll get taken to the brig, I suppose, which is... I don't know.
A room that somebody was sleeping in that they've moved them out of.
Yeah, so you can't sleep here no more. Brig. Brig needed. Hospital/brig. Fracking silence. And yeah, you'll...
Micah will walk up to Katya at one point during all this.
Yep.
Can we speak privately for a moment?
Of course.
I think that Peon might be some sort of assassin. He's strangely bloodthirsty and secretive.
You're not wrong about the secretive part.
He is here on behalf of another king.
Have you seen anything specific that makes you concerned?
He kept trying to get that man alone in his room to presumably kill him, possibly sadistically.
I mean, in front of everyone?
Out of character, this is like the stuff that just happened.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But we were all like 6 feet away.
It just seemed weird.
I agree it was weird. I was concerned when pulled him into the room as well, but seemed fine. Well, not fine, but no worse than when he was outside.
Keep an eye on him. He must have some other reasons for being here rather than just on behalf of this whole giant affair for his king.
I agree with that. I mean, he seems pretty suspicious, but
Among Us.
Trying to keep an open mind.
Mostly because Pian running into a hitch from you on this journey is way worse than the church running into a hitch, probably.
Thank you for your consult, though. Please keep your eyes
Certainly.
open. Have we murdered our people by the time we come back out?
Yeah, do you take that opportunity to murder the church guys? Church murderers.
Peon doesn't.
Or I suppose in medium turn, like there's a day or two where people might get a chance to make sure they don't survive before we leave.
You'll have that option. There's plenty of time to be convinced by the voice in your head to straight up kill these guys.
Well, Katya's agenda for the time once we get there is to do some shopping, see the sights, and try to make sure that these people don't spill the beans before we leave.
Mm-hmm. It can be done. The lighthouse isn't much of a sight at night. I am reaching an end point. I need a shorter session today, I'm afraid. But I've still got like 15 minutes of bullshittery left in me. So the boat will come in the evening. Come in you know, dead of night. Most of you are probably wide awake at this point, though, given the shite that just happened, and the boat making port is a fairly exciting thing, even in the dead of night. And you do see almost no white people on the ports. This is the wrong map. This is St. Fabian. This is Shekabek.
No wonder you're pushing the change of agenda.
Yeah, it is huge and massive, and there's I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a huge number: 50 ships in port. Some in varieties that most of you have never seen before. Not even like pictures of, like, oh, what the hell is that thing? How does the wind make it move? Its sails are upside down and sideways, and it's like a fat round thing. Big cross
Does it
ocean
roll?
chunks.
I think it rolls across the ocean.
Exactly, yeah. You do spot some with like really elaborately painted sails, and obviously the architecture is what'll strike most of you. Everything is built out of the same drab sand-coloured material. There's like barely any wood in sight, though there are palm trees dotted around, and I think more like quite a few palm trees further inland, but you won't see them in the dark. And yeah, just about everything is kind of made of quarried stone, actually. Some sandstone.
I mean, as long as it's not just like huts made out of it, it's probably pretty impressive.
It is incredibly impressive. You can't really even see the city walls properly, I don't think, but you see all the lights in the towers around the edges as the boat comes in, probably.
I think we'll probably have the ship arranged to start getting whatever the things they have to do when they're there, and we'll go find a place to get breakfast / stay for the day or two we're going to be here.
Sounds good to me.
And not the whole group, probably like the smaller, almost like the group of PCs plus a few servants.
The main characters.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, are there any final scenes anyone wants?
Peon runs off on his own into the city.
Straight up, as soon as the boat's like close enough, you jump off the side.
No.
Okay, you wait until the gangplank's down.
Yes.
But still, once it's in position.
Yeah. Apologize for the unpleasantness earlier, and just let everybody know that I'll see them in a couple of days.
A couple of days.
Well, before the ship leaves.
Katya admits that's a little weird after he's gone.
That's right, weird pal, says one of the Gosbets who overheard. The animal handler. Horses are already being unloaded, obviously. Immediately. The most
Excellent.
upset horses are getting on land. And Nash is getting ready to... Oh yeah, no, the plan was to come here so that the horses could get a bit of a rest, I think, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it's in Makeed that he said he had the big complex. He's not got a big complex here. So the horses are all just going to be like got out onto the dock for a couple of days, I think.
There's probably like stables or something near the docks.
You may want to sell some of them here, I'm not sure. Or do you plan on keeping all of them?
Honestly, for the sake of just bookkeeping's sanity, we might part with a few.
Okay. Just as well because you'll get a better price for them here, potentially, than in Keem.
I have the merchant skill, if that helps with that.
So Katya doesn't actually sell them herself. She has one of her people do it. She has employees whose job it is to prevent her from ever making a merchant check because she's terrible at it. So if you're keen on doing some shopping or selling for her and you're good at it, I'm sure that it's welcome.
Yeah, you'd certainly
12,
be. That's
about average, I think.
about average, yeah, for that. You'd have to go out with the person who does the horse trading on Catch's behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's for horses? I don't know shit about horses.
You could tell him how good the shoes are, though.
I could. But I would much prefer just to go off on my own and do a couple of buying stuff.
Etho, you get on dry land. I'm sure you rush to get on dry land.
Yep. And she's also in a bitchy mood now.
Super angry. Wanted to see some dead church guys. Got woke up.
I'll be
Yeah, and
surprised if the church guys survive.
Blood claws came out and weren't properly sated.
I mean, she doesn't have the sated thing in it that she had to do anymore, but, you know, the Kajo need to die.
Okay, so you're very much on the team of kill them. You just weren't very vocal about it at the time. Like,
Everyone was throwing a fuss. She walked away from that situation.
to be fair, the status and rank people who didn't want to kill definitely hold precedent over Etho. And Pian, yeah. And Archie, yeah, I'm not even counting you, you heretic. Mountain man, Wilder. You're less than nothing. That's what the voice is telling you. Kill him. Just kill him. That's what she thinks of you.
Well, I don't necessarily need to kill him.
They know that we're in Keem. Or they know we're going to Keem. If they're alive, then even after we drop them off, they'll send the little birds off, and every fucking crusader over there is going to be looking to chop you up. And me along with you, so fuck that.
We'll manage. We'll manage.
Managed to die, you imbecile. You're so stupid.
Nobody's managed to kill me yet.
You don't even know the constants. What's the
But
quadratic
she will
equation,
thoroughly
Archie?
enjoy not being around. Oh, sorry.
No, he's just mocking you for not knowing stuff that's 70 L's above you.
Yeah. Douche.
Etho, what were you saying?
Etho will enjoy.
Oh, she's gonna thoroughly enjoy the lack of white people around.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. No one gives you much of a second glance like they normally do. Yeah, it's nice. It is very nice. What do I want to say? I do kind of want to say that, you know, you're still going to be feeling sick on land, I'm pretty sure. But we'll get to that when we get to it. We don't need to rush into your illness. Suffice to say, everyone should be noticing that Etho's sick beyond ocean sickness.
Good to know.
Good to know that Etho's just generally sickly these days.
Katya will be concerned, but
Sickly and bitchy.
that will be a thing that occurs as we realize it happens, not within the first 2 minutes.
And Adalga. Most of the time on this boat journey, I'm sure you've just been playing with a shield. You've still not been able to
Yep.
even make a scratch in it. You want to heat it, honestly, but you'd probably need to discuss that with a group in case you accidentally fully melt it. But it's possible while you're here, you might be able to get access to a forge to try and heat this thing up enough to at least chip a piece off so you don't have to lug the whole thing around all the time.
How much is the way? I don't think you ever told me.
No, I don't think I did either.
Could deal with it over the next week.
Yeah, we'll deal with that over the next week.
Oh, 6 pounds. Giant's trinket, 6 pounds.
Oh, right, yeah, no, I probably actually did say. Yeah, £6 sounds about right.
I think it was more large and awkward than heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Indeed.
6 pounds is nothing to me.
And yeah, you can cut yourself on it still quite easily. On the edge.
Can I go in and buy some minor supplies for forging something once we settle down for an extended period of time?
Yeah, there'll be lots of shopping to be done. But we can look at that.
The assumption there might be wrong, though.
Well, yeah.
That we settled down for a period of time.
Well, for a couple of days is the settling down period. We'll have to see how things go, won't we?
Yeah.
But yeah, we can also discuss things during the week for that. And if anyone's wanting to buy anything beyond small supplies or that's particularly interesting or difficult to get, we'll bring it into next session. But there's a few things to see, including the Het Kirk.
Dutch for the church. The temple.
I mean, Katya's interested in that one.
Kirk, yeah, I see that Kirk is church. I've been to the Oud Kirk, that organ. For Het, is that here?
No, I just looked up. It's wrong. It is a word. It's a word for the, but it's the wrong word for the there.
Okay.
So are any of the characters at all religious other than Katya?
Micah slightly, but slightly in a different way.
Like, Katya's the religious type that goes to the Sunday service because she likes the songs and she likes to be in the choir.
I mean, Etho's very religious, but just not your religion.
Mm-hmm.
Weird Atoony nonsense.
Does that mean that she visibly is practicing?
I mean, she's not really good at it, but yes, she probably does.
Cool.
Okay, that's interesting. So Etho, as I like to see, it, word soup in my mouth. Yeah.
Like we never got into what the Atuni's religion is like, but I have a feeling it's multi-theist. Like,
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I am interested that it's not that Etho's like staunchly atheist or anything. It's that your religion is wrong, mine is the right one. And I just found that funny.
Your god is an asshole because they murdered a bunch of people.
I mean, it's not that it's much their god that's an asshole. It's their assholes.
All God's assholes.
And I imagine it's actually a little Greek too. Like, Etho's gods are probably assholes too. Like,
Yeah, no, I'd be happy with that. It's like it's very similar to the religion that came before the modern religions, really. But not many people know about those. More will over here.
Weirdly corresponding to where magic's more common.
Mhm. Mhm. All right, yeah. Let's call it, shall we? No final requests for anything. On the boat at the dock. 47 ponies being put to shore. 49 men. Well, not all men. Not all men long.
Numbers potentially in flux as we figure things out.
Mhm. At least 49 men. 49 plus 15 is what I'd done in my head. But yeah, alright. Thanks very much for watching with the Kobold Cafe. We've been playing GURPS. I love me some GURPS. We had Colin, CD, Lee, Tara, Kyle, Emily, and me, Luke. We'll be back on Monday. Which game is it on Monday?
I don't fucking know.
It's that one.
Spelljammer, I think.
It's Spelljammer, yeah.
Sorry, Pian. Off in the city, doing his business. Smelling blood.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a opium den or just some poor person sleeping in the street, but yeah.
Umaden.
You got area
Somebody-
knowledge for this
Oh,
place?
jealous.
No, God, no.
You got streetwise?
I don't believe so.
I think you've got the points for it. I'll let you retroactively put one of those in there just so you don't like end up in a jail in Shekabek.
I would be
That-
down with the next game just starting with everybody waking up in jail. Then we describe how we ended up there.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
That could be pretty good. Maybe Micah's bailing you all out. I don't know. She's there with Aaron.
I mean, potentially some of us are in jail, the others are bailing them out, and then we go have breakfast.
That kind of work for me, yeah. If you don't want to spend them points, you could easily be in jail. Yeah. Also a really good place to get what you're after. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for watching. With the Cobalt Cafe, we'll be back. We're always back. Always. Bye. People say bye. Bye. Bye.
I